Okay, hi, it's great to be here, and following me is going to be Graham Ross. I'm from Smartsettle, and Graham Ross is working with us as well, also representing ODR training. So I'm going to share my screen now. I've got a short presentation here. Let me see, you should be able to see now the first screen. It says optimizing e-negotiation outcomes with collaboration algorithms. So, we were asked to do a demo of Smartsettle Infinity in 5 minutes. There's no way we could do that. So this 5-minute presentation is just about the algorithms, and but we did produce a video for you. And it's called Infinity Made Simple on YouTube. So when we're done here, you just search for Infinity Made Simple. It's a negotiation between teacher and farmer, and some issues about negotiating pumpkins there. And so in the original distributive negotiation, they were lucky to achieve 50%, but they could do better with those algorithms. So let's see how. If we rearrange the scale, we can depict this problem and change it into an integrative negotiation in multi-dimensional satisfaction space. Now, teacher wants to be at the top left, and the farmer wants to be at the bottom right. When the previous
I'm not seeing the screen. I don't know if it's just me, but
I'm
not.
Oh, you can't see the screen.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Does anybody else can see it? It's coming on now. Now we can see
it. Now we can see it. Yes. No problem, Dr. Ernest. You can start again if you need. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. Let's just try that again.
Okay, we're at the beginning now. Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yep. We can see with your notes.
Yes,
you want to play it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
If you play it.
Again.
Okay.
How about now?
Yep.
Is that better?
Perfect.
All right. So it's about optimizing outcomes with collaboration algorithms, and you heard what I said before, that this is about the background theory. So we made a video for you called Infinity Made Simple on YouTube. It's about teacher versus the farmer, and they're negotiating about pumpkins. There's lots of issues, and they would be lucky to achieve 50%, but we can do better with those algorithms. So, okay, so we're going to rearrange those scales so we can look at the problem in multi-dimensional satisfaction space. Now, teacher wants to be at the top left, and farmer wants to be at the bottom right. So in the previous scenario is plotted, we can see that it's actually possible to do better. They're short of the efficiency frontier here. And a famous person called John Nash, Nobel laureate John Nash, worked on this quite some time ago, and he said traditional negotiations end up at the Nash equilibrium. However, with maximized utility product and a dose of collaboration, negotiators can get to an optimal solution. Unaware of Nash's solution, my major advisor at Cornell University gave me a challenge, and I invented maximize the minimum gain. My experiments predicted 16% gains for each party. And the late Harvard professor, Emeritus Howard Rafa, considered then to be a leading expert, published a preference for this algorithm. But unfortunately, further research showed that this method was incomplete. Negotiators are very attached to the baseline and too exhausted to go further. Some years later, visual blind bidding was born. Visual blind bidding virtually eliminates the tedious negotiation dance that characterizes traditional negotiations. A comprehensive process first creates a single negotiating framework. This is like the final agreement, except for blanks representing the unresolved issues. Sophisticated modeling enables parties to represent their preferences so that they can easily determine how much each package is worth, and also define minimum satisfaction. Any area above is called the zone of possible agreement. The neutral site helps parties exchange proposals, and neither of the initial proposals here is acceptable to the other party. But Smartsettle, knowing how each party becomes satisfied, can generate intelligent suggestions. If the parties place secret bids on satisfactory packages, Smartsettle will check if there's an overlap. If there's a small gap, then the automatic deal closer can close it instantly. Fairness enhancing normalization encourages parties to focus on what they want by making sure that no one is able to game the system, while maximize the minimum gain harvests and fairly distributes any remaining hidden value. In the rare case of no agreement in final session, the expert neutral deal closer can guarantee a collaborative outcome. Throughout the process, another algorithm called reward early efforts works to discourage holding back. Increased settlement rates save time and money in all types of negotiations and promote access to justice. 3 decades of R&D have resulted in the 8 algorithms listed here. You can learn more on the Smartsettle website. Search for Infinity Made Simple on YouTube to view the simulation that I talked about. And thank you very much for your attention. It's great to be here, and over to Graham Ross.
Thank you, Annie. A pleasure to be here, to be invited to present here. Let me give you a working UK lawyer mediator, as I am, perspective of the Smartsettle products, which I have used, particularly Infinity. First of all, just, I suppose, introduce myself. I'm, as I said, a UK lawyer mediator. I'm a board member of the International Council for Online Dispute Resolution. If you've never heard of it, icodr.org. If you're interested in online dispute resolution, you really ought to be a member. I'm also a board member of Smartsettle Resolutions Incorporated, a member of the Working Party of the UK's Civil Justice Council ODR Working Party, and I've been running for some 13 years the leading training course on ODR. But let me give you this perspective. I really love Infinity. And let me give you 5 reasons. I love it because no settlement is ever reached on the system unless it's been notified as acceptable to both parties. So this is not the machine telling people how to resolve. It's helping people to resolve it. I love how it requires skilled mediators to accurately inform the machine of the preferences of each party. So there's no jobs, no mediator is going to be out of work because of this. This is an example, a very good example of that other AI, augmented, not artificial intelligence. It's augmenting the skill of the mediator. Thirdly, I love how the parties can submit proposals to the system anonymously, and the other party doesn't know when it looks as a proposed package to settle if it came from the opponent, from the mediator, or from the machine, because the machine learns so much from what is fed into it that it can identify what is more likely to be acceptable to both parties. In that way, proposals that are made are looked at in a truly objective fashion without any emotion. And you know, when there's a lot of anger and in a dispute between parties, often people will not accept an acceptable offer simply because it came from that other person with whom he is in disagreement. Fourthly, I love how you can use it even outside of mediation, just for a party to model a negotiation strategy before entering into mediation. And fifthly and finally, I love how it focused the parties' minds from the outset on the final part of it, the resolution, rather than spending all this time arguing over the previous facts that led people into the dispute in the first place. It's extremely positive. Just give you one, finally, a real world example of how all this fits in. Imagine an unfair dismissal. Employer sacks somebody and the employee feels it was done infernally and he has rights to claim compensation. Now, supposing that when this employee took up the employment, the contract said that when he left the employment of the company, he mustn't work, he could not work in the same industry for 2 years. Now, using infinity, the mediator would want to find out from the employer what their interest in maintaining this bar out really was. Now, imagine the employer said, oh, we're not really bothered about this bar out. This man can't cause us any damage. He wasn't very high up in the in the food chain. Whereas for the employee's point of view, he might tell the mediator using infinity, trying to assess his preference, that it was really be really important if he could avoid having this bar out. And so in the situation,
Graham,
like
they want us to wind it up.
Sorry?
They want us to wind it up now.
Yeah, so I'm right on the end. So infinity would say, maybe the employee will take less compensation if he is released from the bar out. And that's how, if that was put openly, it would never be accepted by employee. He would never want it known that they weren't that important. There you are, falling in love hopelessly with infinity, and I recommend it. Thank you very much.